Hey guys, Brad from RotoHeat back at it with another 2020 rookie breakdown. Today we're talking CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver, Oklahoma. And if you've enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all the RotoHeat content to come. Lamb is 6'2", 189 pounds, and over his 3-year career at Oklahoma, he had 173 catches for 3,292 yards and 32 touchdowns. The really amazing thing is that averages 19 yards a catch. And if you look at his statistics, each year he continued to progress. And in 2019, he had his highest yards output and highest yards per catch at 21.4 yards per catch. For athletic ability, we gave him a score of 8.4 out of 10. And, you know, in this case, the numbers say it all. I mean, the kid averaged over 20 yards a catch. You know, there's a lot to say about that. You know, he's got, not only does he have a nice first step and a nice wiggle to his game, but I mean, you were seeing him break off big play after big play, and the numbers support that. You know, everybody on the team that evaluated him, you know, expect him to be one of the top receivers in this draft class and you know, quickly become a wide receiver one. You know, there's a couple guys on the team that think he can be the wide receiver one in this draft class. You know, and one of the top fantasy picks if you know, if you're in that mindset and you're kind of weighing him compared to Judy and some of these other guys, you're not alone. Multiple writers on this team, as we evaluated him, said this kid is by far the best wide receiver in this draft class. And, you know, the big playability proves it. You know, seeing him average, you know, over 19 yards a catch every year in his college career, you know, in a decent and against decent competition there at Oklahoma, you know, that says a lot. And CeeDee Lamb is no slouch. He's very, very quick, got very good movement. He handles his body control very well, and that all makes up an athletic profile of somebody that you want on your fantasy team. Toughness, we gave a 7.4 out of 10. You know, when you're one of the better prospects in the draft class, it's really hard to find a lot of faults in his game. You know, when you're the big play threat on your team, that shows that you're able to get off that corner. And, you know, and not everybody's press man in college, but, you know, we saw plenty of guys trying to stuff him at the line, and he would get off and make big play after big play. So the 7.4 out of 10 is a knock on him, you know, but would love to see him be more of a blocker. You know, obviously that doesn't help your fantasy team, but, you know, I some of us on the team, and myself included, a little bit of concern about, you know, some of the blocking. When you'd watch him, he had a little bit of trouble with blocking. I think that's something that he could easily develop at the pro game because he's a strong kid. You'll see that at the combine coming up. You know, so if we had to find one fault in his game, you know, the toughness area is one. But, you know, when you're making big plays, how tough do you have to be? I mean, the kid was consistently getting deep, and, you know, and again, the numbers prove that. For hands, we gave him an 8.4 out of 10. He didn't have elite quarterback play, and time again, the tape showed us a guy who would go up, get the ball out of the air, was very good with his hands catching the ball. You know, we were highly impressed. You know, all the writers on the team saw a top flight talent here. You know, he made big plays. He could catch the ball over the shoulder. He could catch the ball away from his body. He's got a good wingspan for a kid who's 6'2". He's definitely somebody that this part of his game translates well. You know, and with his quickness and his short area agility to go with these hands, you know, so many teams in the NFL love those slants. This guy's going to eat defenses up with those slants, you know, especially around the goal line. Good hands, the short area quickness, the quick burst. You know, he's going to be lethal at the next level, and we're excited about that. For Yak, we gave him an 8.3 out of 10. You know, when you're breaking off big plays, I guess it doesn't necessarily matter, but at the pro level, he's going to be taking on pro competition week in and week out. And, you know, depending on where he goes, if he goes to one of these teams like, say, Oakland or somebody who, you know, could really truly use a wide receiver one, he's going to be shadowed by a team's top corner potentially. So this is an area where the big plays will come for sure, but he's going to have to be able to get yards after the catch because he's going to have guys on him pretty quickly. And, you know, we saw it at the college level when he's facing better competition that he did a really good job. You know, he's a strong kid. Big plays are going to be his game, but he has the ability to get some of that tough yardage, especially with the way his athletic profile and his hands and all the abilities we've talked about. It builds this total package of a receiver that will help him as he's trying to get those tough yards with the slants, with the ends and things like that. So we're excited about him. We're not concerned about his ability to get those yards after the catch, especially, multiple writers had the same thought that he shouldn't have any trouble translating the toughness and all the other athletic abilities into a package that can get you the tough yards on those slants and things like that. The other area where, I'm not going to say we're concerned, but the other area that we didn't give him the highest rating on is route running. We gave him a 7.8 out of 10. Now, if you've been watching our footage, that's still one of the better scores for a receiver. But Oklahoma was asking him to be the big play threat. Their quarterback's got a big arm, and that cannon was loaded and firing on all cylinders this year, and it showed. He didn't have to be the best route runner, and he's pretty good. We would say he's above average. There's definitely going to be some learning curve going to the NFL. Depending on the type of offense he goes to, he's going to be expected to expand that route tree quite a bit. But we're not afraid that he can do it. He did everything he did real well. He was crisp on his routes. We didn't see him really being lazy or sloppy with his routes. He was giving it his all every time he ran a route, and no matter if he was blocking or going for big play or whatever they were asking for. So we're not concerned about it. But of the areas that we watched on his college tape, this is one of those ones that as he goes to the NFL, he's going to need to develop. Now, that's most receivers are going to need to develop that area, but CeeDee Lamb will be fine. Overall, we gave him an 8.1 out of 10. He is an elite prospect coming out. He is one of the better receivers in this draft class, and he will wind up being a really solid receiver going into his first year in the NFL. We would expect him to translate well to the fantasy game. If you are an owner who's drafting early, and you have him up at the top, if you're in need of wide receivers, he could be your one of your top picks. I even will mention that we have a writer that says he's his 1-1 overall. I won't name names, but make sure you jump into our Facebook group and ask questions and talk about this and keep watching our evaluations as we move forward and see if that is the same for you. He is a very talented receiver. He's arguably, the top receiver in this draft class. I mean, you got Jerry Jeudy's of the world, the T. Higgins, Chenault's. You've got quite a few receivers to compare that to. So I'm not going to say he's the best receiver in the class, but he's really good. He's got a really good skill set that translates not only to the NFL, but to fantasy, because that's what we're here evaluating for. We're looking at these prospects to help you understand who to draft in your fantasy leagues. So continue to subscribe, like our stuff, but let us know who you want to talk about next. We are constantly evaluating. We have a big board of players that we're looking at. So if there's somebody you want, let's hear about it. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Also, right there, playlist. Hit it. Watch the videos. Do it. You want to. Do it.